Okay. Okay. Good day, everybody. Can anybody hear me? Hello. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Much. Good day, everybody. I bet our day was fine. I don't know. Are we waiting for more people? Okay. Please do your presence. Okay. I see Tabasi. Are you with us? Hello. Tabasi. Hello. Hello.
I think he has this network issue.
Okay, okay. Are you fair with us? Are you with us? Are you fair? Am I correct? Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, okay. Tado, are you with us? Okay. Hello, Tado. Okay. For the meantime, I think Tado is Elias. Is Elias with us?
Yes.
Okay, okay, nice. Falcon. Am I correct? Falcon. If I'm not wrong with the pronunciation. Falcon.
You're very much active.
Okay, okay, nice. Lola B. Lola B, are you with
Good
us?
evening. Good evening,
Okay,
everybody.
yeah, good evening. Good evening. Yeah, thank you so much. Nenix. Nenix, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you so much. Nena.
It's still me.
But I think Sama just joined us. Sama, are you with us? Sama, are you with us? Hello, Sama. Is
Yeah,
Ope
he's
me
still
with
here.
us?
He hasn't joined yet.
Okay, okay. Has Ope me joined us? Okay, okay. Okay, while we're waiting for everybody to be in this very Zoom meeting, I'll just quickly do a quick introduction. Wonder FX. I would actually be moderating the Zoom meeting for today, and I would like us to pay rapt and full attention as we get into a perfect Zoom class. Very quickly, Mr. Paul FX would be starting the class, so do well to unmute yourself, and then there are times where you're meant to unmute yourself, you would have to do so, and then would have a perfect class. So very soon, I don't know if we're still waiting. Okay, Deluxe just joined us. Are you with us? Odion, are you with us? Is Odion with us?
Yes, I'm with you,
Hello.
man. Good evening.
Okay, thank you very much. Welcome. Is Sama now with us? Very, in no time, we'll be starting the class. Just in a bit. Okay, do we have more people in the class? In no time, we'll be starting the class. Just stay put. In a bit, we'll be waiting for just a few more people, and then the class will begin.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, are you with us?
Yes. May I suggest that since we have about a 40 minutes time, why don't we start
Okay.
and then whoever
Yeah.
comes in will join us?
Yeah, sorry, please, sorry.
Because once the time elapses, the meeting will be
Yeah,
over.
thank you very much.
So
Thank
why
you.
don't we start now?
Yeah, it was actually my fault. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Williams, my very good friend actually. Okay, yeah. So we're actually going to be doing something very interesting. And while looking at my charts, like I was just kind of like looking for the pair that I was actually going to analyze today. And I actually came across USDJPY because I love that pair those days actually, Sha. You understand? There are some pair that actually favors you more in the market, and you actually ought to know all those pairs actually, and yeah, trade them. You understand? Yeah, so like I was actually saying, I came across this pair and I saw an analysis that I made. I don't know when again, but kind of like it's been long. So I actually saw the analysis, and I actually saw that price actually got to that very point, and we're expecting it currently. Yeah, I'm coming. I'm going to share my screen just now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So we are all welcome. We are all welcome to today's Zoom meeting. Yeah. Yeah, we are all welcome to today's Zoom meeting, and it's actually a pleasure having all of us here. Yeah, it's actually a pleasure having all of us here, and I actually hope we actually learn not just kind of like few things, but actually deep things. Yeah, deep things. It's actually more about learning something new and learning something deep that we actually what. It's actually about learning something new and actually learning something deep that will actually change that will actually change your trading career. You understand? Yeah, that will actually change your trading career. Okay, yeah, so let's actually go into this. Let's actually go into this now in full. Yeah, let's actually go into this now in full. Okay, yeah. So what we're actually going to do today is actually titled How to Find Key Levels in the Market. How to find key levels in the market. I hope you can hear me. Hello, I hope you can hear me. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Sure,
hear
but
you.
we can hear you.
Okay, thank you
Yes.
very much. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, yeah. So this was actually the analysis I was talking about. Yeah, this was the analysis. You see actually how actually price has been playing. Price has been playing. And finally it's here. I think this analysis was on September 22nd. I think it was from this very side here, September 22nd. Okay, not too long actually. And now it's October. And now it's October 10. Okay, this was okay, this was 28th September rather. 28th September. Okay, yeah, so that's actually the price we actually need to pay sometimes. Yeah, actually waiting. You understand? Waiting for what? Waiting for price to actually what? To actually confirm or actually get to our point of interest. We're not just looking to rush in on price. And exactly, price actually expected it that same point. But anyways, I'm still waiting for another confirmation to get in. Although on my minute one time frame, price would have given me what? Price would have given me a confirmation already. So this actually the trade. I think this is actually an M5 entry. If I actually break it to an M1, the stop loss will be more tight. Yeah, but actually this is actually an M5 entry, as you can see. Okay, yeah, so that is actually that for that. And that's actually that for that. So let's actually talk about how to gain key levels in the market. Okay, now there's something you actually need to know. There's something you actually need to know, and which is for you to actually gain key levels, in the market, there are some basic things there's some basic stuff you actually need to know. Like what can you actually see what can you actually see in the market that you actually know that you actually know that what this zone is actually going to be expected, because key zones basically are actually zones that when price actually get there, it actually has what? It actually has let me say it actually has should I say 80 to 90 something percent kind of like shorty that I'm missing. Price is actually going to move from that very zone. That's actually what key zone is all about. It actually tells you that when price actually do what? When price actually gets to this very zone. Yeah, I'm actually recording for those that say network are actually bad. Okay, yeah. When price actually gets to that particular zone, what happened? Price is actually going to do what? Price is actually going to turn back. You understand? So key zones actually, they are kind of like reversal zones. You understand? Reversal zones that price will hardly what? Price will hardly disobey. You understand? There are reversal zones that what? Price will hardly disobey. You understand? When price actually gets to those certain zones, what happens? Price definitely will what? Price definitely will actually what? Change direction. Key zones also are what? Key zones also. Aside from that, key zones also are what? They are actually zones that what? They are actually zones that changes what? Direction of price. They are actually zones that will change the direction of price. Like let's take for instance now, price was actually moving upward. You understand? When price actually gets to that zone, what happened? Price actually what? Changes direction. You understand? They actually change direction of price, just like I said. They actually change direction of price. Yeah, that's actually key zones also. Yeah, and no matter how momentum actually rushes to its particular zone, like let me actually show you what I mean by that. No matter how momentum rush to a particular zone, like take for instance, you can actually see how this candlestick dropped. You can see how this candlestick dropped, this very long one here. Can you see it? It actually dropped, but since this zone was actually what? A very confirmed zone, what happened? Price actually must definitely move from that very zone, irrespective of what? Our price is coming very fast. So some people will actually say, probably there's news. It may even be news that I haven't drove this in downward. Probably, I don't know. Yeah, but some people will actually be that what is actually news. So anything that is coming down, don't just actually get into the trade, because what? It will actually take you out. No, when price actually comes to that very zone, what happens? Price will what? Price will actually change direction. So key zones are actually very strong zones. That's what I'm trying to explain in general. Key zones are actually what? Are actually very strong zones. Okay, now how do you actually identify a key zone? We have key zones on different time frame. So to say, we have key zones on what? On different time frame. Like we can actually have a key zone on M15, or let's just say on H1, because I prefer H1 as my entry zone. I do see it very well. I prefer to use what? H1 zone as my entry zone, because it actually makes your entry what? Stronger. I hope you get it. It actually makes your entry actually what? Stronger. Okay, yeah, so I actually prefer H1 as my entry zone. I could break it down to my M15, probably mark out some certain spots you stand, but H1 zone should actually be the basis of what? My entry. Okay, now that actually aside, but this is when you actually go to your lower time frame, which is actually what your M15, and from that H1 zone, you've actually was plotted out probably a smaller zone on M15 time frame. You understand? Probably for your entry. You can also use what? You can also use this same idea of what? These key zones. You can actually use the same idea of what? Of these key levels, right? Key levels or key zones to actually what? Get into a trade. That's actually what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but if you're actually analyzing, make sure you actually analyze from a higher time frame. The reason why you're analyzing from a higher time frame, number one, is to actually see the market in a very clear form. You understand? Like there was a particular time back then, I think a year ago or so, I actually made an analysis, and I was like, this 75 was going to buy also. I was going to buy. So somebody posted on the group, because there's actually a discussion room like that. So somebody posted and it was like, it is going to sell. I just smiled. Although the thing is just that I actually believe my analysis, but we can't say not unless the market actually judge who is right. It may be that the guy is actually right, but I actually knew that I was actually right. Because what? Because I was actually what? I actually saw what price from the higher time frame, and where that guy was actually selling from was an higher time frame support for a buy. So what I'm actually trying to tell you is that if you're actually looking for a key zone turning point, what happened for your analysis? Make sure that you actually get it from an higher time frame. like me, I use H4, but if price is not really clear, you can actually what? You can actually go to what? Your daily time frame. I use H4, but if price is not clear, what I say, you can actually go to what? You can actually go to your daily time frame. Yeah, is that what is as simple as that? Okay, yeah. So let's actually look at this now. What do you notice? What do you notice in key zones? What do you actually notice in what in key zone? What do you actually notice? Let me show you. I'm coming. Yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So what do you actually notice? What do you actually notice in key zones? Like when price actually come to key zone, like how do you actually know a key zone? That is what I'm trying to say. How do you actually know a key zone? Okay, now there are many points actually, probably 4. So today key zones, but I'm actually going to be sharing a few. Now, to know a key zone, like probably now this actually your zone. Let me actually mark it out. I think I didn't teach here how to draw a zone, but a zone is all about what? It's all about marking out what? All about marking out what? It's all about marking out or covering your weeks, you understand? All about covering your weeks. Okay, now let's say we are covering the week. I'll be using blue for this one. I'll be using a blue line for this one. And I'll be using what? I'll be using a blue for this one, and I'll be using red for this very one here. I'll be using red for this very one here. I'm coming, sorry. I hope you can hear me. Hello. I hope you can hear me. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, yeah. So I'll be using what? I'll be using blue for this one, and I'll be using what? Red for this one. Yeah. Thank you very much. So I'll be using blue for this one, and I'll be what? I'll be using red for this very one here. Okay, now, so I'm actually marking out zones here. Like, look at it, there's another zone here also. There's also another zone here. I'm just trying to mark out zones, actually. Okay, yeah, so let me just use red, blue, red, yeah. Stuff like that. Okay, now, so which one is actually that key zone? Which one is actually what? Which one is actually your key zone? Which one is actually your key zone? Okay, yeah, some people may say this is actually your key zone. Some people may actually say what? Some people may actually say this very blue one. Some people may actually say what? This red one. Okay, yeah, we actually don't really know which one is what our key zone here, because on H4 it is not actually clear, and that is what I actually said. If it's not actually clear, you can do what? You can go to your daily time frame. So let's actually check from our daily time frame and see actually how price is reacting at that very point. Yeah, let's go to our daily time frame and see actually how price is reacting at that very point. Sorry, all this one are just lectures ahead, stuff like that. Okay, yeah, so let's actually see our price is actually reacting. Okay, now, so we actually know that what we sell at highs, right? We sell at highs, we buy at what? We buy at lows, something like this. We know that what we sell at what? Look at it. We sell at what? And we sell at highs. And what happened? We buy at what? We buy at what? At lows. Yeah. We sell at what? We sell at this very high. Understand where price gets to an high, and what happened? We buy at what? We buy at that very low. Yeah, stuff like that. So it's actually as very simple as that. So we actually know that, right? We actually know that. Okay, and now, so when price is actually getting to some certain points, what happened? We start looking to do what? We start looking to buy. Now, the first point you should know, like how to know is or spot a key level is what? Is that price will actually start correcting. You will start seeing corrections in the market. Now when I actually say correction, what do I mean? I mean you start seeing higher highs. Let me change this to black. Okay, now you start seeing higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher lows. Now you'll be seeing them very close to each other. Can you see them? You'll be seeing them very close to each other. Now these are actually called what? These are actually called correction. These are actually called what? These are actually called correction. So you start seeing what? You start seeing higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and stuff like that. You start seeing them like that. So when you actually start seeing stuff like this in the market, then what happened? You actually know that what? Yes, that very zone that price is coming to. It may be this very last point. We don't really know. Maybe this very last point, we don't really know. But that very zone that price is getting to, what happened? Is actually what? It's actually key zones. And key zones are actually mostly at what? Mostly at the end. Like you start like mostly at what? Mostly at this thing. Mostly at the very low. You understand? They are mostly at what? At the very low. Not actually in between. They are mostly at the very low. Most at times, they are what? They are at the very low. I hope you get that. Most of the times, they are what? They are at the very low. Okay, now, so since you actually know that what price is correcting, like this price is correcting, forming highs and lows very close to each other. You understand? Very close to each other. It's not forming it like this. In price is not actually moving like this. Look at it. Price didn't move like this. It didn't move in a straight, kind of like downward like this with momentum or something like that. No. Price was what? It was forming highs and lows very close to each other. It was correcting. Now, in other words, it was forming what? It was forming a pattern. You understand? If you actually get to draw a trend line, you're actually going to see it. So it's either you say it is actually correcting, or what happened? It is what? It is forming what? A pattern. So when you actually see price forming a pattern, what happened? You know that what? There's actually what a key zone that at that very point. You actually know that what? There's a key zone at that very point. So that's actually how to identify a key zone. So now, how to actually get into a trade using this? Now it's very simple. Like I told you, we actually buy when price breaks what? An high. Understand? If price has been selling like this, downward like this, what happened? When are we going to buy? We only buy when price breaks out of what? When price breaks out of this high. You understand? We retest and what happened? A continuation. That's actually when we buy. We buy when price what? We buy when price breaks out of what? Of an high. So now, where did price actually break out of an high? This was actually what? This was actually our last high. Can you see this high? This was actually our last high. Price created a low. What happened? Price broke out of this high. So now when price breaks out of this high, what happened? We start buying from what? From the retest, you understand? So that's actually how to enter. That's actually how to get into the market, you understand? That's actually how to get into the market, you understand? Wait for what? Break and retest. Now, it may not be on your higher time frame. You can actually look for it on what? Your lower time frame. It could be H1, it could be H4, you understand? Yeah, you can actually look for it at that very point. So now, this is actually how to support the key level when you actually see what corrections in the market. Now, it could be the very low, but since if it were to be me trading this now, I would have been waiting for price to get to this very red line, this very red point, like the extreme low. You understand? The extreme low. You understand? So now, if price is not actually getting to what? If price is not actually getting to what? If price is not actually getting to this extreme low, then what happened? Price is going to break an high. They make a retest. Then what happened? We can actually buy. But if it gets to this extreme low, we can actually buy using that extreme low. You understand? Like we can actually buy using the low without even waiting for what price to actually break out. We just get to see some confirmations at this very side here. At this very side, what happened? We are actually going to do what? We are actually going to buy at that very point. I hope you understand. I hope you understand. Hello, are you following me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I understand.
Like me, I actually wait for extreme, you understand? But if it doesn't get to extreme, what happens? You wait for what? A breakout and retest. What happens? You're actually going to buy. So whenever price wants to actually sell using a zone, what happens? It actually forms correction. I can actually show you different scenario. Like take this now as instance, or take this also for instance. You can actually see here also what happened. We actually know that what price sell using what? Using eyes, right? So using eyes. Now, price sell actually using an eye. Okay, now when price was actually getting to that very point, what do you actually see? When price was getting to that very point, what do you actually see? You see that what price was correcting, just correcting, forming highs and lows, forming highs and lows, forming highs and lows. What happened? Price actually got to that very point. So now this was my extreme high. This was my extreme high, right? Now, since this was my extreme, this was the extreme. Price didn't sell from this very point. This was my extreme. I was looking at this extreme, the highest point, you understand? The highest point, like, let me show you. This was the highest point. I'm not looking to sell from all these small key levels. I'm looking to sell from the very big one, like, you understand? The highest point now. Can you see the highest point? Okay, now, so at that highest point, what happened? Since it's actually my extreme, I'm not going to look for what? I'm not going to actually wait for what? I'm not going to actually wait for what? Confirm. I am kind of like a breakout and retest. No, I'm actually going to wait for a breakout and retest because what is actually what my extreme, you understand? But if you're waiting for a breakout and retest, price came down, and what happened? Price actually still retested on what? On this very point. And what happened? price still came down. But I wasn't going to wait for a retest because it's an extreme, you understand? So that's actually that for that. So you can actually know by seeing what? By seeing corrections, you understand? You can actually know that was that like now take this also for example. Now, but it's actually an H4 movement also. Yeah, it's that this is actually an H4 movement. So what do you actually see here? What do you actually see here? When price was actually getting to that very point. Now, when price was actually getting to that very point, what happened? Price was actually correcting, forming highs and lows and stuff like that. Now, if the correction is not really clear, wait for what? A breakout and retest. If the correction is not really clear, wait for what? A breakout and what? A breakout and retest. You stand. If that correction is not really clear, you start. You can actually wait for what? A breakout and retest. I wish I can actually break a particular kind of like do this on a live chat and actually what break it down for you. But we are not actually doing top-down analysis today to be fun that time. So now, how do you also note a key zone? Now we also note a key zone, and I'm actually going to give you this as an expo. Yeah, we actually teach this in paid class, but I'm actually going to tell you here. Yeah, I'm actually going to tell you here. So how do you actually know a key zone? There's something we call order block. Now, some people actually call it, some people don't call it order block, some people call it what? Some people actually call it how will I say it now? Some people actually call it demand and supply. Don't know what people call it anyway, but I call it order block. Yeah. So yeah, and I've actually mixed some certain stuff to the strategy and what to actually make it very, very perfect. I hope you understand. Yeah, it actually reduces losses and stuff like that. Okay, so another way to actually know a key zone is what? Using order block. Like I told you, there are different ways to actually know a key zones, but I'm actually going to tell you two. Yeah. Okay, now, so this is actually what? An order block. Another block is actually very simple. Let me just actually tell you, it's actually very simple. Now, when you actually see what? When you actually see what? When you actually see a green, now, this is actually green, but in my own chart, it's blue. Understand? That's actually how I actually get the color. Now, when you actually see what? A green candlestick in between what? In between two red candlesticks. When you see a green candlestick in between two red candlesticks, that is what? That is another block. Or when you see, let me actually kind of like, let me do like this. Red. Green. Yeah. So when you actually see stuff like this, is that when you actually see stuff like this, when you actually see stuff like this, like a red candlestick, all this actually what? All this represent candlestick. When you actually see what? A green candlestick in between what? Two red candlestick. Now it could be a green candlestick in between two red candlestick, or what? Or it could be what? Or it could be what? Or it could be a red candlestick. I'm coming. It could be a what? It could be a green candlestick in between two red candlestick, or what? Or it could be a red candlestick in between what? In between two green candlestick. Or it could be what? Or it could be a red candlestick in between what? In between two green candlestick. Now just stay with me and follow me. Yeah, so it could also be what? It could also be a red candlestick in between two green candlestick, or it could be what? A green candlestick in between two red candlestick. Now, for sell, we actually use anyone. Like some people now will be asking now, if you actually see a red candlestick in between two green candlestick, is that for sell or is for buy? Now it depends. It's for anyone. You understand? If either you see a red candlestick in between two green candlestick, it could be for a sell. Either you see a green candlestick in between two red candlestick, it could also be for a sell. So there is no kind of like a buy order block or a sell order block. But just note that what? Just actually note that what? When you actually see what? A green candlestick in between two red candlestick, or what? A red candlestick in between what? These two green candlestick. That's actually what? That's actually another block. So now when you actually see price approaching that very point, what happened? When you see price approaching that very point, what happened? You actually know that what? That very point is what? Is actually what? An exhaustion zone. I hope you understand. Yeah. It's actually what? An exhaustion zone. And it should be at the extreme, please. It should be what? It should be at the extreme. So that very point is actually an exhaustion zone. So price actually would move from this very point. came to retest here, and what happened? It continued its move. But what happened? Price definitely did what? Price definitely reacted at this very point. And I actually believe that what it formed correction at this very point. So that's actually how to know an exhaustion zone also. You understand? A red candlestick is very simple. A red or a green candlestick in between two red candlesticks. You understand? A green candlestick in between red candlestick. They should be in between. You understand? They should be in between. Look at it again. A green candlestick in between two red candlesticks. There's another block. Look at this one again. A red candlestick in between two green candlesticks. You understand? So when you actually mark out, like you must actually say that what they actually what at that very extreme point. So now if you actually look at it, aside from that correction, what do you actually see here? Aside from that correction, what do you actually see here? We actually see that what price actually came to what? To that very order block here. Look at it. A green candlestick in between what? Two red candlestick. So we can actually see that what price actually what gets to that what? To that very point. And you can actually use this to break it down. You can actually use this to break it down. Let me actually tell you another secret. You can actually break it down using this. Like when I say break it down using this, you can actually go to your H4 time frame. Now, at this very point, whereby what you saw that order block, you understand? At this very point, whereby what you saw that order block on H4, it may be smaller. Let me do this as a theory. Let me actually break this down. Let me actually break this down. I think it will actually help. I just pray I see it on H4. You know, this is actually the one and it's far back. But let's just hope we see it on H4. Come in. Let's hope we actually see it on H4. Doubts, but we hope. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, yeah. It's actually on H4, right? It's actually on H4. So this is actually what? This is actually my what? This is actually my very zone on what? This is actually my very zone on what? On daily time frame. My very order block on daily time frame. You understand? This is actually my very order block on what? On daily time frame. So now I'm actually going to still be looking for what? Looking to see if there was what? If there was another block. You understand? If there was another block. Now, in this very case, there was not that block, but there was something else that is actually what? That actually shows an exhaustion point. But in this point, there was no what? There was no exhaustion. There was no other block here. If I actually go to my H1 time frame, I'm actually going to see another block here. So you could actually still reduce it. If you don't see another block on your H4 time frame, you can actually still go what? You can actually still go lower. So now, and as you go lower, what do you actually see? As you go lower to look for that block or so, what do you actually see? You actually see that what? Your zone becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and stuff like that. You understand? On M15, your zone may be like this. You understand? After what? After refining it, you understand? After refining it, on M15, your zone may be like this. So other block also actually helps. You understand? It actually helps a lot. Now, it actually helps you to get a key level in the market. And aside from getting the key level in the market, it also helps you to what? To make your zone actually smaller. Refine it, you understand? Refine it, and what? That very zone actually becomes very, very concrete. Because what? That M15 zone is what? Inside the daily time frame zone. You understand? So definitely price is actually going to move from that very zone. I hope you understand. So that's actually what I'll actually be talking about for today. Like I said, the other part of it that actually creates an exhaustion zone, I can actually see them here, but I'm actually not going to tell you that. Yeah, but with these two deep things you learned today, I hope you can actually spot out what an exhaustion zone. Now, how does this help? How does this help? It actually helps you to what? It actually helps you to swing a trade. It will swing a trade. Now, it actually what? It actually keeps kind of like guess away from you. Like some people go and sell. Some people go look some people look for entry here, sell from here. You understand? Now that price will take them out because they'll be looking to sell from this very point. Look at it. They'll be looking to sell from this very point and look at it. They'll be looking to sell from this very point and swing it down to the downside. You understand? That is not actually how it is done. You don't just kind of like just draw a line and say price will move from here downward. No, that's not actually how it is. You actually need to know what the bigger time frame is saying. You understand? What the bigger time frame is saying. That is, if you actually want to swing, you actually have to do what? Go to the higher time frame. You understand? Go to the higher time frame and see what it is saying. The other point, actually get to pick those exhaustion points or exhaustion zone or exhaustion level. You understand? And that's actually how it is. So yeah,